What's happening, guys? So Nate back here, and in today's video we're going to discuss why you're not getting sales but you get a ton of engagement. So we're going to cover all that, the reasons why, and how you can fix it starting right now. You might have experienced this before. You got a design, it passed the PPE test, you're getting a ton of engagement, you got likes and shares and comments through the roof. You're like, super winner! But you run that same design on WC and two things normally happen. You set that up, ready for purchase, you think you're gonna crush it. You think money's gonna pour out of the sky. And the two things that happen, A, you hear crickets, nothing comes through. You're like, what happened? PPE numbers are amazing. WC, nothing. What am I doing wrong? Or the other scenario is you have amazing numbers on PPE, amazing numbers on WC, but the conversions never come. You just get all these comments, all these shares, all these likes, but you're looking at your numbers and you're like, they're clicking, but they're not buying. They're clicking, but they're not adding to cart. What am I doing wrong? Well, guys, I will be honest. This stuff happens to me too. It is extremely frustrating. I think, I got a winner. It's amazing. And then nothing. I'm gonna tell you two designs that I had in the past, and this is the two designs that gave me this type of behavior. So first I'll tell you the two designs, and then I'll tell you why like that kind of stuff happens, right? So the first design that I had experienced this with, and it confused me a lot, was a marijuana, a weed. I love cannabis or whatever. I love cannabis niche or design or something along that sense. And it had amazing numbers, like 2 cents cost per engagement, and so many link clicks. And I was like, oh my God, I found a winner. This is amazing. And then when it went over to the WC, they just, none of them bought. It had good numbers on WC, but nobody bought. Then the other design that I experienced this with was a unicorn design. I made a design for the unicorn niche. I thought, oh man, people love the unicorns. They, like a month ago, 2 months ago, I don't know when it was, they had the unicorn frappuccinos at Starbucks. Unicorn was this big thing. And I'm like, okay, unicorn frappuccinos, we're making unicorn wallet cases, boom, this is a trend, let's hop on that trend. And guess what? Great numbers. I had the numbers, everything looked great. And then when I set it up on WC, it was nothing at all. It was like $1.50 link clicks. It was pretty quiet. It was pretty crickets. And I'm like, this stuff confuses me. And so I was like, maybe it's just the time of the year. Maybe it's just bad algorithm, bad whatever. And so, I mean, and that stuff happens. You can have bad algorithm. Yeah. So what I did is I waited a little bit and I relaunched those again to see, does it work? Can it work? And the same exact type of behavior happened again. And so what I've concluded is there is whatever. I got a couple notes here. There's a couple reasons why you could potentially have a lot of engagement but no sales or crickets over here. One of the possible reasons is the algorithm that's optimizing for the engagements, right? The algorithm that's optimizing to get you a lot of likes is the niche that you're targeting is a lot more of those type of people. Then when you put it on WC, there's a lot less people in that purchase pixel audience that would actually be willing to buy, right? And so in an average niche, right, you get the good behavior here on the PPE, and that actually translates over on the WC, and it's a barometer for success, and you know that you're gonna have a chance of having a winner. And that's why we PPE test. But sometimes the niches are weird and it just doesn't line up. You don't get that same, basically the PPE test was a false positive. Now there's another time that what could happen is maybe it's a past winner that someone else ran really heavy in the past, and they sold a lot of the design or very similar design. And so the pixel and the algorithm is not optimizing for people in the PPE niche, right? And so when someone's selling heavily already in that niche, or sold heavily in that niche, the PPE numbers look good, they look great. But then when it translates to WC, those people that bought in the past, they don't want to buy again. You're just showing them the same stuff they've already seen before. And that's why you hear crickets. Now there's a couple other reasons, like for example, I said it could be the niche and it could be a demographic thing. For example, if we go back to the weed example, I love cannabis example, in a stereotypic stereotype setting or whatever, the people that smoke weed are normally younger teenagers. Not all the case, but stereotypically. And those people don't have a lot of money. And so are they willing to buy my wallet case? And the answer is no, they don't care. They love artwork, they love graffiti, they love design, they don't have a lot of money. So they're gonna hit like, they're gonna leave comments, they're gonna take it to their friends, but none of those people are actually willing to pull out their credit card and buy, because why would they buy a weed case when they could just go buy weed or whatever, like, that's kind of, it's a demographic issue or whatever. Or it could be they're not willing to be actually walking around with a weed marijuana thing. They don't want to show people that they smoke weed or whatever. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is the design is a problem. Like I said, like they don't want to be walking around with the marijuana. If it was a different design, something like, I showed you a diabetes design before, they don't want to be walking around with that, but even though that was a winner, so that's not that perfect example. It could be something controversial, that maybe it's political, that they are resonating with the political design, they hit the like, they leave a comment on the political design, it's got great numbers, but they actually don't want to buy that product, that printed on my product, because it's politically incentive, but they're definitely going to leave their comments and their feedback on the ad. And other times it could be a funny design. If it's funny, like I said, they're going to leave their comments and feedbacks and their likes, but they're not going to be buying it. So it could be a demographic issue, it could be a design issue, it could be a previous winner issue, it could be just like a stereotype issue, it could be many different possibilities of why you get high engagement here but nothing over on WC. And then let's say you have, like I said, you have great numbers on both, but they're just not buying. That could be an algorithm issue as well. So very many possibilities. Like I said, this stuff happens. You just got to deal with it. Not everything is always a winner. If it passes your PPE, it does not mean it's going to sell. It means it's just more likely to sell. That's kind of like my thoughts and my opinions on why you might get a high engagement but you got no sales on PPE, or you might have high engagement on your actual WC ads but you get no sales, no add to carts. And these are some of the reasons why that happens. Guys, if you want more videos about print on demand, Facebook ads, or anything about running online e-commerce stores, hit that like button, leave your comments, notification bell, and I'm going to see you on the next video.